Can you hear me? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
So we have discussed up to this slide in previous class. So we have discussed the concept of pickup and reset value of for a relay. Pickup current means the amount of current for which relay start its operation, and obviously any current more than that will operate the relay. And reset current is the maximum current for which the relay will withdraw its operation, withdraw its closing contact, right? So below the reset value, all the current will stop the relay operation. That means relay again will be at the reset condition. So actually it is indicating that system is again healthy. So for relaying system, actually we need three elements. What are that? First is measuring element. That means we have to measure the quantity that based on which we shall design our protection devices, protection plans. So in this case, in case of the that we have learned, the measuring element is simple current. Simple current is shaping down by CT, and that is measured or monitored every time to take the relay operation. Now next is comparing elements. So pickup value and reset value. So pickup value can be set. Okay. So if the relay is more than the pickup value, then it will be operate. So for electromagnetic relay, actually we design the electromagnetic system in that way. So this comparing element will be required for digital relays or for microprocessor based relays. And then in case of electromagnetic relays, it will be automatically developed by the devices or circuit design. Next is tripping element. Tripping element means it will relay will pick up and send the signal to the tripping element. In this case, where for the conventional relay, it is the tripping coil. But in case of microprocessor based relay or the computer based relay, then maybe it may close some other contact which will in sequence will give the signal to the circuit breaker. So this is applicable both for conventional relay or electromagnetic relay as well as for the um, advanced relay. That means digital relay or the microprocessor based relay. Microprocessor based relay or digital computer based relay both are digital relays. But microprocessor means there will be no computer. Microprocessor within a board will control the protection system, and in case of digital computer based relay, the digital computer will control all those. An electronic or static relay is a initial stage of the digital computer based relay or the microprocessor based relay. Now in relay, always there is a tripping element. Okay. So what is the tripping element? Tripping element actually a DC circuit associated with the main protective relay, so that can make the circuit breaker operation very fixed type, very definite type. Say it will allow the circuit breaker to be tripped when protective relay is energized or a manual instruction is given to close the circuit. Okay. Similarly, it may be opened using a relay, or it may be closed. It may be opened by a manual instruction. At the same time, it may be closed by withdrawing the relay, or it may be closed by a manual intervention. That means manual switch. Understood that? What I
Yes, ma'am.
have told? So that means if it is a scheme, so actually the scheme is it will supply the a DC voltage to the trip coil or the closing coil. So circuit breaker has two coils, trip coil and closing coil. Trip coil will move the moving contact of circuit breaker at the open towards the open condition, and closing coil will energize the motor circuit maybe in such a way that that it will move the moving contact of circuit breaker towards the closed condition. Okay, so trip coil is used to open the circuit breaker, closing coil is used to close the circuit breaker. But these are not directly connected to circuit breaker. These are totally isolated intermediate circuit which will give instruction to the circuit breaker contact to move, because circuit breaker again is a high power device. It is directly connected in the system. So if you just see the scheme, T means manual tripping switch. That means using this switch, by pressing this switch manually, trip signal may be given. That means instruction may be given to circuit breaker to open the circuit. Otherwise, using PR means primary relay coil. Primary relay coil, if it is energized, then the same signal may be given. So there are two options. Okay. If there be any false tripping, then we can use the trip manual tripping switch to close the circuit breaker, to open the circuit breaker. Similarly, there are manual closing switch and withdrawing of the primary relay. So that C is the manual closing switch. Okay. Other thing I have, it is written here, I shall discuss, then it will be clear. So this is the scheme. Now you see, now if we want to say, at first what I have written, open. Say at first we want to close the circuit breaker. So if we want to close, the CC is the closing coil and TC is the tripping coil. So if we want to close the circuit breaker, this CC coil should be energized. Somehow if I get disconnected, then you call me, otherwise I cannot understand, because in my laptop the PPT will be open, so it is not visible. Anyway, so if the closing coil is, if you want to close the circuit breaker, then closing coil should be energized. Now closing coil may get voltage through this path, or by any means these two contacts should be closed. So this, by this path, using relay or using this manual closing switch, that I shall discuss how. At the same time, if we want to give trip signal to the circuit breaker, then through PR or through that manual tripping switch, the trip signal should get the energization. So if it is closed or it is closed, then positive voltage will be appear across the TC, so we shall get the energization. Please don't get late in class. Now you see, in short, when CB gets open from closed condition, so CB circuit breaker is initially closed, we want to open it. So when it is before opening, when it has not open, that means it is closed. So if it is closed, that means actually this should be closed and this should be closed. Then only the closing coil is closed and the CB is closed. Now if we want to open it, that means trip coil should be energized. To energize the trip coil, this A contact should be closed. Now this A and B contact are complementary in nature. If one is closed, then another should be open. Otherwise, two operation will tend to be happen at the same time. So they are interlocked. If A is open, automatically B will be closed. Okay, for a circuit breaker. So now you just follow this. When CB gets open from closed condition, so CB initially is closed, it is getting open. So for opening, you have to give the trip signal. You have to give energy to the trip signal. So before opening, A should be closed. Okay, and B should be open because A and B are operated in complementary nature, as well as when it is as already closed condition, then there is no need of further energization of the closing coil. So this closing coil should be closed. Okay, 1 minute. I have not started recording. So when CB gets open from closed condition, so aim is to open. So for opening the CB, trip coil should be energized. So A contact should be closed. If A contact is closed, trip coils is tend to be energized, then closing coil should be de-energized. So B contact should be open. And after closing, there is no further closing operation is possible. Then after closing operation is done, coil is energized, cb is closed, cb is after sorry, after opening, if the trip coil is energized, it is given signal to circuit breaker to open. Then there is no further function of contact A to be closed, so it should be open, and at here B should be closed. Why? For future closing, because after opening there will be the next operation should be a closing, for that reason. So similarly, so at first it is it is closing coil was de-energized and B is open. So B is open, they are complementary in nature, so C is closed and trip coil is energized and it is ready to open the circuit breaker, right? After opening, obviously there is no function of this strip coil right now, so B should be closed for future closing, and it should be remain energized for future closing, and A should be open and trip coil should be energized, de-energized. So these two thing are, I think, vice versa. So in this way CB will operate using this strip coil. Now the thing is that when there is a manual switch button, if you withdraw a circuit breaker or disconnect a circuit under a healthy condition, then that is obviously not good, but it is not so fatal as compared to that when you are closing a circuit during the fault. So manual switch button, manual closing button should be unable to close the circuit during fault. There should be that interlocked. Okay, actually that is the main function of this tripping circuit. So initially, say manual switch button as say used to close a circuit after in a healthy condition. Why it is required after maintenance? So say manual switch button is pressed. So what has is the present status of the circuit breaker? Circuit breaker is in open condition. It is going to be closed. So open condition means trip coil already has given the signal and it has been open. So trip coil should be energized, should be de-energized, and closing coil should be energized after the C button or the manual switch manual button is closed. So there is no further opening of circuit breaker. So A should be open and B should be closed. But when B closed, the closing coil will not get energized until and unless this X contact is closed. So that is required. So that will be done using manual closing switch. So when manual closing switch step 1 I have written is uh, pressed, then what will happen? Manual closing switch is pressed. Now there is no instruction, no energization or instruction from the primary relay. Primary relay has not operated because it is a healthy condition. So the relay coil, R is the relay coil. Relay coil is not energized. So it is as open condition, you may say. So relay coil is not energized. So, but it is connected. So there is no voltage across the circuit, this relay coil. When the PR will be energized, then the same voltage applied here will be available across the R. So if you apply further voltage here also, X will not get any voltage. Anyway, if the closing button is pressed, then A is open, right? So A is open means this is open. Then Relay coil is not energized, so this voltage from positive side will come across X, and this X coil, X means the coil corresponds to this contact X. So this coil will be energized. What will happen that if X is energized, then obviously this X contact will be closed. If X contact is closed and contact B is already closed, then closing coil will get this positive voltage across its positive terminal, or the terminal corresponds to positive. Then it will get energy, or it will be energized. So if the closing coil is energized, then circuit breaker get closed. It will be closed. Then after that, when it is closed, then obviously when the closing operation is done, then B will be open, because after closing operation there is a interlocking, B will be automatically open. Now B, if the B is open, A and B are complementary in nature. So if the B is open, A should be closed. Now when A is closed, trip coil will not be energized, as this manual trip button or the primary relay signal is not available, or this contact are not closed. But if this A point is closed, A contact is closed, then that means these are the same contact, then this contact will be closed. If this contact is closed, then this Y coil will get energized through this contact, because it will get a negative terminal of the voltage. So this Y coil will be energized. If Y coil is energized, then Y coil will close this contact. So if this Y contact is closed, that means this X coil will be bypassed. So if the X coil is bypassed, that means that is de-energized. So if it is de-energized, then no more further closing of a contact X is possible. So it will be open. So it will be, if it is open, then closing coil automatically get de-energized, because it will be disconnected from the positive terminal. So in this way, CB will remain closed, because it is not getting any tripping signal, and closing coil has has served its purpose, and it is again de-energized for further closing. Understood?
Ma'am,
Yes.
ma'am, here C is the manual closing switch button, right?
Mm-hmm.
Open or closing switch button. So when it operates automatically, how the X will be energized? X will be closed or open? I mean, X is open or closed by energizing the X
X
conductor
coil.
X coil, right?
X
So
coil.
if yes, ma'am, X coil. So if C is not operated manually, then the intermediate coil will not be energized. That means X will not be energized. So how the X will be
Yes.
closed or open?
So if we want to close the circuit breaker under healthy condition, then obviously manual switch button should be closed. And
Okay, ma'am.
for closing, I think I were asking that why, when it will be closed automatically. Is it so?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Actually, circuit breaker generally not closed automatically. It may be opened automatically, because circuit breaker is associated with isolator. Right? So isolator should be operated at first, and they are manual.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Understood? So there is no
Yes, ma'am.
automatic closing switch for the circuit breaker. But there is automatic switch breaking, means there is a manual control in the closing, right? But for opening, there is a manual control as well as automatic control using the relay. Understood? Now the thing
Yes.
is that, so manual closing. Okay, tell me. Do you want to ask anything more?
No, ma'am. No.
Now it's say the thing is that, so when there is the fault is there, then CB may be open, or there is no fault, healthy condition, then also circuit breaker may open. So if a operator is seeing that the circuit breaker is open, then how will you know there is a fault or not? He will not know. Then you have to gather in the information. If he does not gather, if you directly want to just, it is open, so there is a loss in the power system. Actually, one circuit is disconnected, means power transfer has been disrupted. So if that person tries to close the circuit, then this stripping circuit, actually the control circuit of circuit breaker, will allow the closing only under healthy condition. but it will not allow the closing during unhealthy condition. So during unhealthy condition means when trip signal is present from relay the trip signal is present, then manual switch button cannot close the circuit breaker. Understood? That part I have not discussed till now. I have discussed how manual switch button operate when there is an healthy condition. Now in next slide I shall discuss how it cannot operate even if it is pressed under unhealthy condition. So this is the healthy condition I have already discussed. I have written actually all the steps. So you can go through it, and next class if you have doubt then you can ask me. All the step I have discussed here I have written like an algo. Okay. With arrow. Now you see when there is a manual there is a fault. That means primary relay has given signal. So primary relay has given signal means this relay coil has energized, and relay coil is energized, and initially this B was open because when it is changed to close then B should be open, and A is closed, right? Now the thing is that A is closed. Now you see when A is closed, that A contact is closed, that means this contact is this PR is energized, A is closed, so trip coil is energized, so CB gets open, that's fine. But at the same time manual switch button is also pressed, then what will happen? So see, this is closed, then actually when trip coil is energized then A will be automatically open. Now when A is open, then B is closed, then but X is also open. Now B is closed and this A is open. If A is open, then this Y coil cannot be energized. Okay, this Y coil cannot be energized. Why? Because both of this contact is open. It is not getting any energy. So if it is not getting energy, then Y cannot be closed. And relay coil is energized, then means full voltage across it, same voltage. So same voltage available here, then this voltage cannot come here. Okay, two coils are there. Across one coil, the voltage equal to applied voltage is available. Then the second coil will not get voltage. So this X coil cannot be energized, right? So if the X coil is cannot be energized, then X will remain closed, remain open. Remain open. I have written that one. Remain open. So if it is remain open, then there is no question to get circuit closing coil energized. So the closing of the CB will be TC cannot be energized. So closing of the CB is not possible. Understood what is the purpose of this control circuit? It is written tripping circuit. Actually, it is control circuit because in colloquial language, in the circuit in the power station, it is called tripping circuit. Have you understood these two scenario?
Ma'am, what's the function of Y switch in Y coil side? I mean, there is two short circuit path.
Y switch in Y coil side.
Yes, ma'am. A means there is.
It cannot be energized. I do not know actually. I have to explore that one. I have never thought about that. Okay, but I have got this type of circuit from different book. I think it is useless also because if Y not energized, then this Y will not get closed. So through this contact Y, it can never get the energization. For that A is sufficient. Okay. So we can discard it also. And in the explanation also, you have seen that this contract is not used anywhere. It is not required. So I do not know right now if it has any other application. But the purpose we have discussed, I have not found any function of this contact. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
And whatever I have told that is written here, I am not reading it out. So you read it and relate with the figure so that you can understand. Okay. Now, so tripping element, what is the meaning of tripping arrangement? Tripping arrangement means actually trip coil will be energized. So relay will give only the signal that will make a contact which was initially open. So this contact was initially at NO condition. Trip relay coil will make this close under faulted condition. But only this closing is not sufficient. We have to give a supply to the trip coil. Now for that there are different type of arrangement. This is the simple arrangement. It may be used for low power substation. That is, we can use an extra battery. So that will supply the trip coil whenever required. So this station battery obviously can supply that energize the trip coil only when relay give the signal to make this NO contact to NC. Now, then this is not this is actually rarely used for low power, low rating of substation. It may be used because for high power substation, this cost of station battery and maintenance of station battery will be an issue. So for that reason, may be used. Theoretically, it is possible, and it may be used actually for very low power station, maybe in 1.1 kV, or it may be used in that way. And for AC tripping arrangement, by direct using the AC power available, the relay coil may be energized. There is two arrangement. One is series strip scheme. That means it will see from the series. It is clear that series means current. So obviously, trip coil will be energized through some series current proportional to the system current. So through CT it is supplied. So this circuit actually here the relay contact is opposite, normally closed. So trip coil will be bypassed under normal operating condition. During abnormal condition, NC will be NO. So trip coil will get energized. First mostly used the scheme is the shunt trip scheme, using the PT of the mm, uh, from the system voltage. So from PT, it is giving the supply to circuit breaker trip coil through the NO contact of the relay. So this is same as station battery. Instead of battery, here the system voltage is used. Now one thing you must remember, the phase in which fault has happened, we cannot energize relay of that phase using that voltage. Say for R phase relay, we cannot provide the relay coil energization from the VR. We may give it from VB or VY, but not from VR. Maybe VBR, maybe VRY. Understood my point?
Yes, ma'am.
Now at first we shall learn overcurrent relaying. Overcurrent, from the name it is clear that means current is beyond certain value. So when current is beyond certain value, then relay will operate. This overcurrent relay is also called single input relay. That means there is only one electrical input. Like we have seen that simple armature type relay. There was only one excitation current, and it was kept at its rest position using a spring. So other input is mechanical. In this case, it is spring. Now, single input relay is widely used in power system, and it is very simple protection scheme it can give. Now, over voltage relay, under voltage relay used in motor are also single input relay. Okay. Principle of operation, whatever I have told, if current exceeds a predetermined value, then it will be trip. And restraining feature is provided by a spring. Now, overcurrent relay normally are of two types: attraction type overcurrent relay and induction type overcurrent relay. Attraction type means if we give a solenoid the energizing current proportional to the current to be um, protected, then the one armature will move from rest position to close position to operate. And induction means the relay will induce a current to a device, to a part of it, so that it can rotate and make the circuit close or open. So this is the attraction type overcurrent relay. because this moving portion is attracted towards the fixed part, and on the way it will close the circuit of trip signal, trip coil of the circuit breaker. So this is very simple type of relay, simplest one, and it is kept at the normal condition and using control spring. So actually control spring, the tension of control spring actually control the pickup of the current, pickup of the relay. So the capacity of the dimension or capacity of the spring will be varied depending on the rating of the relay. Okay, depending on the amount of current, it is amount of current at which it is operating. Then obviously when there are two, this is a current and this will induce another current, so there will be interaction of two current. For that force will be derived, that is proportional to I square. If the current is DC, then force will be Ki square. This derivation I think you have done in your electromagnetism classes. So if the force is AC, then Ki square is I is the Im sin omega t. Now Im sin omega t we may write in Im square minus Im square cos 2 omega t. So a double frequency torque will be produced along with the fundamental torque or fundamental force in this type of relay. That means attraction the overcurrent relay. Okay. Now, what is the pickup current? Pickup current is the minimum current for which relay will start operation. And dropout current or reset current, the maximum current for which relay will withdraw from its operation. Why maximum current? So because below the dropout current, for every current it will withdraw from the from closed condition to open condition. Now ideally this pickup current and dropout current should be same. Why? Because if I said that the relay should operate more than 5 ampere, then obviously when the current is less than 5 ampere, it should be withdrawn. It should be ideal case. But it is seen that in case of uh, attraction type overcurrent relay, pickup current is more than dropout current, right? So if the relay pick up at 5 ampere, it is dropping out at say 4 ampere or 3.5 ampere depending on the circuit, right? So this thing is a limitation because then the dropping out of the relay is not deterministic. Now these are the different type of relay. So this is the schematic. When this solenoid or the electromagnet will be energized, then iron plunger will move upward and close the trip circuit. Now this is the plunger type. Plunger type means it will attract this iron plunger. When it will move upward, then it will close this circuit. And this is an attraction type, right? So attraction type, this can you see? Can you follow my arrow?
Yes,
Now in attraction type, if this is the moving contact or armature, then it will move towards the lower direction when this current coil is energized above the current of above the pickup current, right? And in that case, this armature has to overcome this spring tension. That's why spring is providing the restraining torque and current will create the operating torque. Operating torque means for which it will operate. So operating torque ideally under balance condition on the verge of operation, operating torque should be equal to restraining torque. For no operation, restraining torque should be greater or less than operating torque, greater or equal to the operating torque, is not it? And for operation, operating torque should be greater than the restraining torque. Whenever we find out the criteria, we take the verge condition, down the verge of operation, where restraining coil torque is equal to the operating torque, right? And one more thing, this is the simple type of relay when there is only one torque is developed due to this current. Sometimes it may happen two type of torque is developed, but still spring is used there to make the moving portion at the uh, fixed position. Okay. So in that case, the function restraining torque is developed by some other means. So along with this restraining torque mentioned provided by spring, say in this direction, there is another restraining torque is produced by some other means. What means I am not discussing right now. And their operating torque will be in this direction. So in this case, one torque will be there for the using spring, another may be developed, say suffix t, and this is the operating torque. Sorry, no, not s. We should write t. So if this is the operating torque T suffix O, then the torque due to spring, torque because there will be movement, torque into angular displacement into force will be the torque, right? And there will be another torque, say T developed or T applied. So in that case, when there is another restraining torque in addition to spring, then spring, the purpose of spring there is only to make the moving part of the relay to be at a fixed position during rest, not more than that. So ideally, in that case, on the verge of operation, Ts plus Td will be equal to To, right? But generally, we neglect Ts. We assume it's zero because in that case, torque developed by some other means is much higher than Ts. Okay, understood?
Yes,
Understood this, but this is not applicable here because in attraction type overcurrent relay or in overcurrent relay, torque is no restraining torque is developed by current. Only operating torque is developed by current. Restraining torque is totally provided by the spring. So spring is indispensable for the overcurrent relay. Now, if the I is the operating point current, then current force applied or will be K will be proportional to I square, and that will be in opposition to restraining force. So K1 I square minus K2, right? Under peak up condition or under on the verge of operation, the summation of these two will be zero. From there, we can find out current, and we can find out we can set it in accordingly. K1, K2 will be dependent on K2 will be dependent on spring dimension, and K1 will be dependent on the circuit, magnetic circuit designed. Now, what is the special feature of this type attraction type of overcurrent relay? You see, in attraction type overcurrent relay, there is no such control. So, if current go beyond a certain value, then it will operate. So it is very fast acting because it is very simple and it is very instantaneous. So whenever there is a fault, current goes beyond a value, then it will be operate. So it will not wait. There is no actually means in this relay design to be wait, to make it wait. So this may be advantageous when write the we want to get the protection instantaneously, but it may be disadvantageous when we want to wait for some time, some moment, say a half cycle or one cycle, and to wait that fault may disappear automatically. Then it is very much disadvantageous. We cannot use it. So first example, when we can use it very instantaneously, the example is the single line to ground fault at the generator side. So in generator, we shall not wait for anything when there is a single line to ground fault. It is because very huge current will flow through the generator and it may just badly affect the generator. So we should disconnect the generator from the circuit. So in that single line to ground fault, in case of earth fault, single line to ground fault actually called earth fault in generator, we may use this instantaneous type of overcurrent relay. So armature type overcurrent relay may be used for that type, that application. But we shall not use it for transmission line because especially in case of overhead transmission line, every time there will be some transient due to that ambience. Okay, so because that is bare conductor and that will die down within a very small time. So every time if we use this instantaneous type overcurrent relay, it will trip and make, so it will be a hazard, so we shall not use, right? So what will be the time current characteristics? Ideally, beyond the pickup current, it will trip. So this side is time, this side is current. So after a pickup current, it will take minimum time to trip, right? So at a particular current here, it is taking a huge time, say infinity, you can see, right, up to this. After that, or up to here actually infinity, after that time is coming down, the operating time. And so, but the distance, the difference between these two current is very low. That means within very small difference from pickup current, there the relay will trip and it will take no time. You see it is almost parallel to y-axis, so time is same for all the current. Time will be same, and it is very low. Okay, because say here it is, if it is in a scale 100 ampere, then it is for 1000 ampere. It is not nothing to have nothing to do with this relay. It cannot actually differentiate between that. For 100 ampere or 2000 ampere, it will disconnect the circuit at the same time. So actually it cannot wait. Actually it has no time gradation. Okay. Now sometime it is required, especially for transmission line. For higher current it should trip faster. For lower smaller current it will trip slower. Why trip slower? It will take long time to trip. Why? Because in the meantime, if the fault goes, then there is no, the trip is not required for that. That function, that feature is not available in this type of attraction type overcurrent relay. That is available in induction type overcurrent relay. That's why induction type overcurrent relay has come. Otherwise, beyond a certain current, relay will operate. So overcurrent, attraction type overcurrent relay can serve that purpose. But the time grading, that it will, for a particular current, it will take particular time. So if for 1000 ampere, if it take 10 millisecond, then for 100 ampere it should take more than 10 millisecond, so that we can get more time. Okay, so that means a gradation should be there. Now, for attraction type overcurrent relay, the relay is instantaneous is in nature. Now you see, this is the circuit. This is a single line feeder, say radial feeder. So you see, there are relay here, here, here. So now if you set the relay here, say this relay, if I name as 1 at this end. So for 1, say relay is set to, this I1, I2, I3 are fault current, not the normal current. Then the relay is set to operate at I3, all the relays. Then obviously all the relay will operate at the same time. I am indicating all these relay only. So operate at same time. So there is no need to provide all these relay, or there is no gradation. But if we can give a time gradation, then say if it at first it would operate, since the current is here, then for this particular current it will wait for a time, then it will be operated, then that would be better, right? At the same time, if we use same type of relay, then you see in this characteristic, up beyond a certain current, the operating time is same. So if for I3, this one relay number 1, marked 1 is relay, if it is operating at 10 millisecond, then say fault in this section, then current is I2 plus I3, then this relay will operate also at 10 millisecond. But that should not happen. If this current is I2 plus I3, this should operate at less than 10 millisecond. It would be better, because that is more fatal fault. And similarly for the this relay 3 also, but that will not happen in case of attraction type overcurrent relay. That means there is no selectivity. It cannot select. It will operate for all the type of zone in the same way. At the same time, you see, for the radial feeder, when we go towards source, then current is more. So if this relay fails to operate, this relay fails to operate, then this relay will operate. And this near to the when there is a fault in the I3, then near to the source, always current is higher. We shall refer this thing every time later. So for radial feeder, obviously if we use KCL, then near to the source the current will be higher. Now say if we want to want to set a different pickup, right? If we use same relay from here, then this is the pickup current. So if the pickup current is X, then for a fault at every portion, they will operate at X ampere, right? But that pickup current we may change by changing number of turns in the coil, right? So in that way it can be controlled. We can change the operation of the relay depending on the pickup current, or we can modify the pickup current. Say for the same relay, we want to get different pickup current. Relay is same, but so we can change this coil. But one relay is fixed. You have bought that one. You cannot change number of turns there. What you can do? You can use a plug. That means here there will be different tapping of current that you can send here, right? So this is a 100% tapping, and that I shall discuss later also. So then current will be energized. It will be energized by 100% current. So if it is 200 by say 500 by 5 ampere CT, then it is getting 5 ampere current. Similarly, there may be 50% tapping. Then it will be energized by 5 ampere. Similarly, there is provision of 150% also. Then in that case it will be operated by 7.5 ampere. So in that way the pickup we can change. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
So, so what is the advantage of instantaneous type overcurrent relay or the armature type overcurrent relay? One is it can be used instantaneously. So where we need critical protection, we can provide this. For example, single line to ground fault or earth fault protection for generator. Next, it has no selectivity for the same type of relay. If we provide it for the, it will operate for the same current, and it will time taken by it will be same. So there is no gradation is possible. Current sensing we may change using the plug setting, but there is no time gradation is possible. Sometime this relay is used with some timer so that we can give the time gradation. Okay. But main trouble with this instantaneous type overcurrent relay is the wide difference between pickup and dropout value. Pickup current is not equal to dropout. So if current relay operate at 5 ampere, more than 5 ampere, you cannot expect it will be reset after below 5 ampere. It may be reset at 3 ampere like that. So wide difference is there. 5 ampere, 3 ampere on the city secondary side. Primary side it will be huge. Now you see, if you see the attraction type overcurrent relay, if we draw the magnetic circuit, I hope you know that one. If this is the MMF, then there is a magnetic path here. So it is magnetic reluctance, iron. Along with that, there is an air gap, right? So obviously flux developed is proportional is a function of is proportional to this air gap iron reluctance of the iron, not reluctance is denoted by S, not F. I forgot. So this is the reluctance SI. I do not know, you may learn it with F, R. SA. Then flux is simply MMF means N into I, number of turns, by SI into IA. Right? SI plus IA, sorry, SA. Now you see, this may be pickup current. Similarly, phi may be dropout current. ID is for dropout. Right? Now when there is a pickup, then obviously there is an air gap. If this relay has to overcome this air gap reluctance, that means then it will be operated. So phi is to produce same amount of phi to operate, this current requirement is more. But when it is withdrawing, I am showing by dotted line, when it is showing by withdrawing in the moving in opposite direction, that means it is going from close to open. So there is no initial air gap. So obviously flux required to that pool will be less, right? So current will be less. So that's why there is an wide difference between the pickup and dropout actually. I have written here strength of the status of length of wire gap during starting of pickup and reset. What is that? During starting, the air gap is the maximum value. During reset, ideally it is 0. Okay, but it may have some, because there is no pressure in such a way. So there may be some very small air gap in millimeter, but that is near to 0. Now rear gap reluctance of the path is directly proportional to L, and a current required to pick up is inversely proportional to R. Obviously, during pickup, the total length of the path is more due to air gap, and during reset it is less. So that's why actually pickup current is more than the dropout current. So actually the pickup is not equal to reset or dropout. So generally I reset by I pickup should be 1, but here it is less than 1 or 100%. Then what is the problem in this type of relay? That is, it causes false tripping due to transient. You know, when there is a current, depending on where fault is happened, there will be a transient. At zero crossing with voltage, the transient is of highest value, but in that case, so current will be huge, so it will operate very instantaneously. And this transient may happen under normal condition when switching is done. That is, any switch, when you any circuit when you close, then there will be a transient, but that is the healthy condition. But it may consider that one as an unhealthy condition and may trip. Another is pick up by dropout current is ratio is very poor. For DC it is 0.6, for AC it is 0.85. Okay. And second is there is a double frequency pulsating force developed in case of AC application. So it will create a noise, right? Ratio. And sometimes DC relays is something known as fueling diode is used. So that is used to discharge the EMF built in the inductance when coil is de-energized. Because actually that is an inductance, the electromagnetic circuit were used. So if we want to de-energize that after operation of the relay, then some fueling diode is also used. And for AC, since it is AC application, as the magnetic circuit, that electromagnetic path, that magnetic material should not be solid. There should be laminated core. Otherwise, there will be unnecessarily eddy current loss and hysteresis loss, because that loss will be taken from the system actually. And sometimes some auxiliary timer relay, as I told you, is connected with the series with this type of relay, so that we can provide some time reading in the system. And you know, since there is a zero crossing in AC, and we are using that AC current directly, so during zero crossing, always there will be a withdrawal and connection of the circuit. So there will be chattering. So that may be overcome using some shading coil. So that will prevent the chattering. So that's all for today. Next class I shall start induction type overcurrent relay. I shall take my scheduled class as it is, and in the next week I shall not be able to take that one. So 2 class will be missed on Wednesday and Thursday. Both I cannot take. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Please leave the meeting.